This episode, I caught up with the guys at the Sim Factory, the creators of Arca Sim Racing, and got to go behind the scenes of what is looking like the top simulation in stock car racing. First thing I'd like to say is that they welcomed us with open arms. Very cool to see a development team making themselves accessible like that. I got to put these 800 horsepower beasts through their paces against my good buddy Sean, the development team, and some guys who are heavily involved in the world of stock car racing. From Arca, the Cup Series, as well as some of the great sim racers. The Sim Factory is an Indiana-based software company that was formed mid-2006 with the core focus on the development of racing simulation software. The corporation is operated by its founding members, all of whom are simulation enthusiasts, with the common goal of creating a more realistic product and a larger and more competitive simulation community. 3 months after they formed, the Sim Factory LLC acquired a 3-year exclusive software license for the Arca Remax series and are now just weeks away from the release of their first commercial title, Arca Sim Racing. The sanctioning body Arca, or the Automobile Racing Club of America, has been around since 1953 when it was formed by John Markham, former race driver and official of Bill France Sr.'s fledgling NASCAR, and was originally called MARC, or Midwest Association for Race Cars. A little bit about the nuts and bolts behind the sim. For starters, the physics engine. In October of 2006, the Sim Factory finalized an agreement with Image Space Incorporated, or ISI, to utilize the G-Motor 2 engine as the base development technology platform for the Arca Remax series simulation. The Sim Factory's co-founder, William Zimmerman, stated, "We believe that through an ISI simulation environment, we can offer a title that can represent the wonderful Arca Remax brand and at the same time provide a highly realistic and fully league-compatible solution to the competitive community." The Sim Factory has plans to release every track that Arca series runs and then some. As of right now, most of the tracks have the green light. Some of the ones I've tried are USA International Florida, the Milwaukee Mile, Salem, and DeCoin Speedway. I've driven on some others that they have here behind the scenes and they are incredible. Arca is going to be a standalone simulation. All the tracks will be released over time at no additional charge. And speaking of charge, it will retail for $49.95 and be released on CD. From my first impressions to the time I'm writing this, I feel that the guys at the Sim Factory really are onto something here. I feel more connected to these cars than any other stock car simulation before it. And one of the best things about it, it uses the same online code as R-Factor, which is great for door-to-door action. And what better way to run a stock car than door-to-door? Sean and I actually both felt the same way, that we were connected to these cars. Sean put it best. This is the first stock car sim where I've felt that my throttle input has the correct results. I can really control the tail of the car with the slightest input. Okay, here we go. Alright, I like that. That's what you should be saying for a stock car race. Alright, yep, starting 19th to 24. Gonna have my hands full against these guys, I'll tell you that right now. Alright, we should be going green here now. Let me buckle up. We can do some stock car racing with the Arca Sim boys.
You got a car on the outside. Clear.
Gonna make sure I'm not the one that causes the caution.
31.5.
There's a nice little pack of cars here. Oh, some trouble up ahead. I see smoke.
You got a car on the outside.
The guys at the Sim Factory told me a story about being at an Arca event with their simulator, and a driver was there that had run in sports cars overseas. He went out and in his first laps wrecked the car, costing his team most likely thousands. He then went over to the Arca simulator that he hadn't tried yet and crashed in the same exact spot. His associate said to him, "Wish we would have come here before wrecking that car." After running laps for over an hour and receiving advice from drivers, crew members, and other helpful info, he mentioned that he was much more confident in his ability, and easily this simulation was a tool that could be used by many for track familiarization, repetition, and preparedness. So like I said at the beginning of this piece, these guys are really onto something. To top it all off, they have plans to run a championship online series that will be broadcast, with the winner getting a ride in a real Arca car for at least one race. So talk about crossover into the real world of racing, they're promoting it in a big way. They are also currently in negotiations with Arca for another 3-year extension, making it a total of a 6-year contract with the racing series that has been around since 1953. Looks to me like the Sim Factory is going to be the king of online stock car racing unless someone else comes along. If they do, they have a whole lot of ground to make up because these guys are for real, and so is this sim. All hurdles that were holding up the release in relationship to licensing, coding, and other items have all been sorted and cleared. Anything shown in this segment may be subject to change at any time by the sim factory. All screenshots and video were taken from a beta version of the simulation and should not be considered final. If you'd like to stay on top of this release yourself, go to arcasimracing.com. Also, if you want to follow some of the real drivers that helped develop this sim, go to arcaracing.com and check out the Arca series.